All right, everybody, you can see what time it is. It is time for the up and down matches. That's right. Welcome to Seoul, Korea. I am Doa. With me is the illustrious Moletrap.
How's it going, everybody?
I was going to give you an adjective.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut off your adjectivity.
It's okay. We're both a little bit tired. It's 1 p.m. here in Seoul, Korea. So on most days, Moletrap and I are still sleeping right now. So,
oftentimes, at this point in the day, we are still quite asleep.
We woke up early. We wanted to cast some GSL for you, so that's why we're here. Although you may notice our voices, we have that kind of like low, early morning voice going on a little bit.
Yeah, man.
Hello, ladies. That's right. It's time to cast some StarCraft 2. Ooh. But seriously, though, we have got an amazing first group.
It is going to be really sweet, and I hope all of our foreign fans heard about this little schedule change because Liquid Huck is going to be vying for a place as the only non-Korean in Code S.
Yep.
We're all rooting for him. He's got a really tough group.
He can do it.
But we know he's capable of it.
Now let's take a look at yesterday's results before we go any further at all. Yesterday, we did see Group C and D. We saw TSL Alive and Zenex Beyond advancing to Code S, while Czech Prime We fell down to Code A. A Zerg that's been around a long time, going down to the Code A tournament. A little bit of a surprise there. Then in Group D, we saw Slayers Ryung have to go up against OGS MC and Hong and Prime. Slayers Ryung unfortunately could not handle it. Went down to Code A. MC and Hongen back up to Code S.
Yep.
And now today's matches, let's take a look at what we've got in store for you today. We've got Groups E and F to start off with. It's going to be Slayers MMA, MarineKing Prime.we, and Liquid Huck.
And how could you lose with a smirk like that?
That's right. Look at that smile. He's ready to go. Then Group F, we've got MVP Violet, a pretty impressive Zerg player. The next Kirix, another impressive Zerg player. And our third impressive Zerg player, OGS the Wind. So we're going to see a ZVZVZ group. I think that's probably the first time we've had that at the GSL. As far as I remember, there might have been one other, actually. Now that I say
possible. I seem to recall something of the sort happening.
Twitter will help me out. But let's take a look at today's matches. Slayers MMA. Look at that.
Looking pretty good lately.
He's won a lot of games lately.
Yep, his only losses in recent memory versus Bomber, who is a Terran, but of course beating other Terrans like MVP in the team league, beating Hyperdub recently. So, does he have what it takes to go up against MarineKing Prime?
Well, he's definitely a good TVTer.
Definitely a good TVTer, although MarineKing is one of the best as well. It's going to be an awesome set, that's for sure.
Yeah, and speaking of MarineKing, there he is. Hasn't done quite as well lately, but keep in mind, a lot of those games in his last 10 matches were part of that finals from the World Championships where he did get taken down by MVP. So take that last 10 games with a bit of a grain of salt, I would say.
Usually you don't do as well lately if you've been playing MVP lately.
That's true, unless you're Bomber.
Unless you're Bomber, man.
But,
in which case, you own face.
But keep in mind that he did beat MC in that best of 5. That was pretty impressive. And he did take 2 games off of MVP. But let's take a look at Liquid Huck. Kind of up and down a little bit. 7 wins, 10 losses in his last 10 games. So again, take that with a bit of a grain of salt. But he will be in TV or TVP mode today, or PvT rather, I suppose. We're going to switch around to make Huck first. And lately he's been having to play a lot of PvP. Now he did have to play MVP in his group, so a little bit tough there.
Yep. And by the way, despite the little graphic there, Huck is actually a Protoss player. And he has 2 Terrans to face up against, so he actually has a little bit of an advantage in practicing because he just has to practice versus a Terran. Whereas MMA or MarineKing, they probably practice their TVT, but just in case, they probably brushed up on their TVP builds on the maps as well. Yeah. So they had to practice maybe a little bit extra for this, depending on what's going to happen. Of course, both of them trying their hardest to win the first set as well.
Check out those maps. That is a good map set for TVT. I'm excited about this.
This is going to be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I was doing flips in the studio this morning. I was so excited about today's matches. We are casting all day today, about 8 hours total.
It's a marathon.
4 groups, 8 best of 3s. Let's get started with the first one, MarineKing versus MMA on Tal'Darim Altar. Let's see what happens.
Saw Leo walk in. He won't miss any days of GSL. That guy's amazing.
No, man.
Anyway, we've got our red Terran up at the top right of Tal'Darim Altar. He is
Slayers MMA.
And that does indeed stand for mixed martial arts.
It does.
It's been confirmed. Yep.
Wow.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And here we have our blue Terran. He is not the Marine Prince, he is
MarineKing Prime Wing.
He is the Marine King.
That's right.
Looks like he's gonna play chess on his keyboard.
Oh,
King's
was it bespeckled?
Yeah. Big thanks to LG, Intel, and G-Skill for being such excellent sponsors. As Bill and Ted would say, most excellent sponsors. Thanks for making the GSL possible. We appreciate it.
Yeah, you know, it's LG, Intel, and G-Skill. They really embody the sentiment of be excellent to each other.
They do. They really do. You can picture Bill S. Preston, Esquire, standing there.
That's right.
One arm on his heart, the other in the air. Telling the world how to live. So, look at that.
Interesting.
They're both going.
Whoa.
Or actually, no.
No.
MarineKing going for an early gas. MMA.
Yeah, MarineKing going gas before barracks.
Yeah.
And it looks like he's going to try and wall off with his barracks to prevent the scout from getting in to see what shenaniganry he will be up to.
Now, the interesting thing with going gas first in a TVT like that, or going gas first at all really, is when your opponent checks that by the time they get to your base a lot of times, unless they check the gas and see how much you've actually mined, it looks like a normal opening. But there's a couple things you can do out of this. You can get a very fast Banshee out, you can do a very fast Cloak Banshee, you can do Blue Flame Hellions. Those are the more common things we've seen. But clearly MarineKing switching things up a little bit from the norm, I'd say.
It's kind of like going gas first in Zerg. You can get your Zergling speed as soon as your spawning pool finishes. The same thing if you go gas first as a Terran, then just after your barracks is completed, you can build a factory. And did you see the ground warp? Was that just on my computer?
I don't know, it might have been.
It looked like the factory planning down messed up the textures, but I could have been wrong.
Well,
maybe I'm just tripping.
When you drop a whole building onto the ground, that's sometimes that has an effect.
In any case, he does have that factory down, and he's going to be walling off indeed before the scout gets there, so MMA will have no idea what's going on whatsoever.
Now, MMA's getting a tech lab on his barracks, which is a little bit surprising. In a TVT opening, that's not something you see terribly often. Is that fast tech lab? I think he must be planning a Reaper. I would imagine he's going to get a Reaper to get some scouting. Yeah.
Exactly. I was going to say sometimes they get a Reaper first, and this is going to be a Reaper expand.
Yep.
Something we've been seeing a little bit lately in Terran versus Terran.
Looks like it will be most likely Banshees from MarineKing. My voice breaking already. I'm not even excited yet.
That's all right.
It's going to be a great day.
Yeah, you're right. Starport going down right there, and nothing being produced out of the factory, so if he was going to go for some kind of Hellions, he'd probably do that. He's probably going to put down the tech lab on the factory any moment if he is planning Banshees.
Yeah. That is a little bit surprising. There it is. SCV doing a little bit of scouting. A couple more barracks going up for MMA, so he will be going a bit bio-heavy, and that's going to be pretty helpful when that Banshee comes into his base. He can use a scan, use the Marines to take that out.
Yep.
Going for fast Marine shields, too. That's something that I feel like we've seen a little bit more often since the patch where stim time increased. You see a lot more early Marine shield pushes.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, I think that's how MMA beat MC in the team league, actually. He went for a combat shields rush instead of a stim timing rush, and it actually worked really well, keeping his units alive. So it's an interesting choice, and it's a more, it means he's going for a more a long-term build, more than likely. And there's that Reaper sneaking in.
Oh, he's going to see pretty much everything if he gets far enough into the base. He sees the two gas already. Whoa, be careful, Worker Revolt. And actually, that Reaper is going to be chased away, so MMA really not seeing a whole lot right there. There are certain things he can infer from this. Seeing the two gas and then scouting the front, you know, seeing the reactor can kind of tell him.
Oh, and he's actually going to go after that reactor.
Oh, I like that. That's a great decision.
Whoa.
Marines can't hit him. They have to come out. And Reaper getting taken out.
A little bit of a mistake there by MMA, letting that Reaper die. Must have been.
Oh, that Banshee might get seen, though. He's going to fly right over the Marine.
Oh, nice.
Almost chasing it down. Never mind.
Yep. So MMA has... Well, yeah, Cloak is almost finished. MMA is almost... He's probably going to stop. He's going to have two scans, one at each orbital, just about the time that Cloak finishes. So he might be able to deal with this. He is planning down turrets as well in his expansion, or in his mineral line, rather. And the Banshee is cloaked. It's giving chase. Does not quite have a scan yet, though, so he's just kind of taunting that Banshee with his Marines right now.
Yeah, you can kind of get some positioning on the Banshee by pushing it back, making them think you have a scan.
He has a scan now. Is he going to use it?
He needs to be in the right position.
Oh, more Marines coming in. Oh, man,
Whoa.
he's losing so many Marines. He's 6 kills on that Banshee.
Oh,
there's the scan, and he gets it.
Gets it.
Nice.
Yeah, without stim, very, very difficult sometimes to get your Marines in position like that. Nice job by MMA taking that out. He did lose a lot of Marines, though, like you said. Those tanks, can they not fit through there? Oh, they can't.
Yeah.
Whoa, interesting. So the tank can't fit through the bottom one, just because the supply depot is at a little bit of a position where it constricts that a little bit more than the top one does. Interesting thing to note if you're tearing that walls off it.
Whoa, and wow. MarineKing actually didn't get an expansion. He's going to try and push off one base.
Wow.
He looks like he's going to go for a siege timing, and it looks like MMA will have stim by the time this attack arrives. He clears out the watchtower with the Banshee first, so he's not completely certain that this push is coming. He suspects he's putting up more bunkers at his front. This is going to be big, and if MMA holds this, he's going to have a really big economic advantage.
Yeah. Yeah, really. I mean, I am a little bit surprised he's cloaking so early.
Oh.
Yeah, might have wanted to save that Banshee to get some vision for his siege tanks, but we'll see how MMA handles this. It's going to be a little bit tough to defend.
And
siege mode just didn't finish.
He's going to be able to start shelling.
Yep. And there's not a lot MMA can do about this right now. Just has to repair the bunker. Banshee going to work as well. And these bunkers may actually go down pretty quickly. MMA, very tough spot right now.
Yeah, the splash damage actually killing SCVs. Oh, nice. Gets the Banshee, but now he's got to worry about this huge army bearing down on him. That last bunker's getting shelled now, and he does not have the Marine count to move in there. Siege mode is 20 seconds from completing for MMA. When that gets up, he might be able to hold this off. But in the meantime, he's losing a lot of ground.
Banshee taking a little bit more damage there, but MarineKing able to save it. Needs to be very, very careful. Oh, flying it back to the bunker range for just a moment. But right now, wow, MMA in dire straits at the moment.
Siege mode's complete for MMA. Is he going to save it? Wow. And the orbital gets away. Just barely.
Banshee goes down. MMA barely holds right now, but both players are on one base at the moment.
Wow. I'm sorry. We just so you know, there's actually a drop in the main at the same time of MarineKing. So MMA putting some pressure back on. It loses his tank.
That's huge.
Whoa.
That is actually huge. Banshee possibly taken out by the Viking there, scanning so that the Viking can get some extra shots at it.
And whoa.
Here come the Marines to defend.
Man, that Banshee's like part immortal, man. Oh wait, that's a new Banshee. Never mind.
Yeah, they look the same.
They look the same. Banshees all look the same to me.
Oh, the Banshee gets taken out. Going to join the other two that have already went before it. The Valhalla. The land of the dead.
No, it wasn't a Viking.
Oh, you're right. Right.
If it was a Viking that died, it would go to Valhalla.
That's true. So where do Banshees go?
Or if it was a Valkyrie, but those aren't in this game.
That's true.
And MMA is actually in a decent position right now. He's managed to hold things off. He's still got that second orbital. Oh, and he's gonna kill the Banshee. Is he gonna?
Oh! Take it out.
Yes.
It's a bad day to be a Banshee in MarineKing's army.
And yeah, MMA's been doing a lot of harassment in the background, and that is, again, something that really top-level players will do. Even when they're under attack, they will put some pressure back on their opponent. That's the only way to get out of that situation. And there he goes. Another drop.
And if this is Micro, he could do some damage. Siege tank there in position. Is he going to siege up? No, he's not. MarineKing is going to lose that tank.
Oh, that's bad.
Whoa, that's going to make MarineKing lose a lot of those SCVs. MMA playing so well, wow.
Slaughtering SCVs here at MarineKing. Just doesn't seem to have an answer for it. And look at that. Beautiful. Picking up, getting out of town with the forces that he has left. And
look at the worker count right now.
We are actually left with MMA with a 20 supply lead. 33 harvesters to 13. Wow. I had no idea he'd lost that many. He's going into tripping all those tanks. He gets one of the tanks. Dives in for the last tank, but might lose his own tanks in response.
That bunker, I think he's going to be okay, though. Yes, MMA holds it now. MarineKing. Wow, MMA. Such a good TBT here.
MMA holds with more than double the harvesters, with double the army, and a second base.
Yep.
MMA is doing twice as well as MarineKing right now.
More Marines running in, they will get taken out. Whoa, one escapes to the medevac. I love that by MMA, saving every unit that he possibly can. Every unit is so vital, especially in a mirror match. Banshee will be able to take out some units for MMA here, so he may not be able to push out quite as easily. Scan going down, and is he going to get the Banshee? He does! MMA all over MarineKing Prime right now. 20 harvesters ahead at the moment, 37-17. Almost 40 supply ahead.
Yeah, man. He actually has an income that is nearly triple of MarineKing's right now because he's dropping double mules as well.
Yep.
And MarineKing has about a dozen Marines to his name. He's going to have to face a couple siege tanks. Not that many Marines, but those medevacs are going to make those few Marines a lot better. And siege mode, of course, will slaughter Marines. And if he gets a shot off on those Marines, it's going to be bad. Takes out the reactor.
Yeah, I really don't know how MarineKing can respond to this. He does have his own siege tank.
Oh, not for
he's going to get taken out.
Oh!
Wow. Kind of poor control by MarineKing in the later stages of this game here. Getting a lot of siege tanks.
A little uncharacteristic, given that that's how he kind of staked his claim on the StarCraft world, was due to his control, his Marine control, and
that's so true.
Wow.
Very true. So, MMA moving in right now. He's got a lot of Marines, a little bit less than MarineKing, but he does have siege tanks to back it up.
Yeah, this is looking pretty grim for MarineKing. Let's say in some. Well, he actually probably is going to hold this off eventually because MMA isn't really rallying that much to the front. MMA is going to end up at the end of this fight with 3 times the basics. He's getting a third up at the 12.
Yeah, really, this isn't meant to kill MarineKing right here. MMA is not trying to kill MarineKing. He's just trying to hold him back to 1 base. I mean, I'm sure he wouldn't mind.
Yeah, I don't think he'd mind.
But I don't think he's really completely into killing MarineKing right now. It's kind of like, all right, I'm going to put a lot of pressure on you. This may win me the game, but at the very least, it's going to let me get my third up and running, which is the important thing right now.
I think it is going to win him the game.
It
because
very well could.
He's not producing any Marines right now, whereas MMA is now rallying 3 barracks, 2 reactors on those. Whoa.
Yep.
It's voice cracking day.
It is.
GSL.
This is what happens when you cast right after you wake up.
We didn't wake up that soon ago.
We've only been up for like an hour more.
We've been up for like 2.5 hours.
Feels like an hour. I don't know.
And in any case, he is going to charge in and kill another tank and the Banshee. MarineKing just cannot keep anything alive to defend with, and GG's.
Yeah.
And MMA,
the son of the Emperor, the son of Boxer,
is really, really trying to live up to that title he is trying to earn of the Neo Legend Killer. As you guys might remember, MMA has been coming out and killing a lot of very high-level players in the team league. And, Artosis was talking about how that's kind of how Jadon got his start, was he came out and just randomly, suddenly started beating these unbeatable players.
Right.
And MMA kind of doing the same thing. Of course, getting beaten by Bomber in the GSTL, but Bomber not quite a legend yet. MarineKing, however,
maybe someday.
Somewhat legendary in the scope of the relatively brief span of StarCraft 2 history, so...
He's doing quite well for himself. I'd be pretty surprised if he doesn't make it into Code S at some point today. We'll see. Apparently, he and Huck sort of had a little bit of a deal going. They were like, okay, MMA, you beat MarineKing, and then I'll beat MarineKing, and then we'll both beat Code S. That's the way they've planned it out.
Really?
Yep, that's right.
Oh, okay.
That's what.
That's a good plan.
Sella was telling me before the match.
Both of them beat MarineKing.
Yep. It's going to be tough to do, though.
That's my plan, too, actually.
Your plan?
Yeah, that's
how you're
my
gonna
plan.
Get the Code S?
I'm gonna beat MarineKing Prime in a best of 3.
Maybe after he's done with this, take a little break. You could play him.
All you have to do is plan and then execute.
Execute. That's right.
That's how you get stuff done. Anyway, let's see what happens in Game 2. Can MMA finish it or MarineKing come back?